Well, there you have it, viewers. The visuals on your screen of the Prime Minister in his home state in Gujarat, in fact, making his way in Gandhinagar to the Raksha Shakti University, where in fact he will be present along with the other dignitaries, along with the Home Minister also who is there in Gujarat today, and the Governor who are going to make their way towards the convocation of the Raksha Shakti University, the first convocation. Remember, that particular university is also something that's very close to the heart of the Prime Minister, who had been the Chief Minister at the time in the state when he had in fact inaugurated this particular university. And there you have it, him making his way in Gandhinagar, and several of the people in fact who have crowded there, who have tried to get a glimpse of the Prime Minister. This is a homecoming for him in Gujarat, since he has in fact been the Chief Minister there for the longest time. And yesterday as well, we saw the mega roadshow that had been carried out by the Prime Minister there in his home state, sort of like a victory lap after the results of all the states' elections, including that of Uttar Pradesh, Goa and Punjab also had come in. And now we see the Prime Minister making his way towards the convocation. Now, importantly, the next state that is up for election is also Gujarat. And yesterday we had seen how he had met with several of the MLAs and MPs of the entire state of Gujarat and had also spoken to them about the poll strategy of the BJP for the upcoming assembly elections of Gujarat, which are due in November or December. And on the jeep right now, what we're also showing is Bhupendra Patel, the incumbent Chief Minister of the state of Gujarat. Remember, just a few months back, the entire state had also gotten a new government in the state, and Vijay Rupani had also stepped down, and now we have Bhupendra Patel, who is the incumbent Chief Minister and also a close aide of Anandiben Patel, who has also been somebody who is very close to the Prime Minister and the Home Minister both. And now we see all the dignitaries there making their way towards the Raksha Shakti University. Also importantly, what we saw yesterday in the event was the Prime Minister also addressing the sarpanches and the village heads of all the state of Gujarat, and had spoken to them about the ground up method of development, had also cited Mahatma Gandhi, who had always stressed upon the fact of empowerment of villages, and that's exactly what the Prime Minister also echoed yesterday in his speech when he had been meeting with all the sarpanches and the village heads there at the GMDC ground there. And there you have it, the Prime Minister in his home state getting a grand welcome by the people of Gujarat. Along with the Home Minister, and also a meeting of the RSS that is all set to take place in the state on 13th of March as well, where the Home Minister is also going to be meeting with several of the dignitaries who are going to be present in the state. But as of now, a very crucial 3-day development and visit of the Prime Minister, the Home Minister and several other dignitaries who have descended upon Gujarat from Delhi, since BJP already in a poll planning mode, as we can see in the home state of Gujarat. Remember, Gujarat also going to be a very interesting state for elections this time, since we have seen a grand entry of the Aam Aadmi Party in the state of Gujarat. Since decades now, Gujarat has always had a bipolar political scenario with Congress and BJP leading the two major parties in the state. But now this time we have seen that the Aam Aadmi Party, also who had pledged to field candidates in all of the 182 seats of the state, has also made an entry in the state. And with respect to the municipal elections that happened just a few months ago, we had seen in fact a great performance by the Aam Aadmi Party in the city of Surat. And now we see that this will be a third front, in fact, that is going to make an entry into the state of Gujarat after decades of a bipolar political scenario between BJP and Congress, and which is why we see that several of the brainstorming strategy meetings of the BJP are already taking place. And perhaps the Prime Minister also hoping that the enthusiasm and the motivation of the cadre and the BJP workers would be affected with the grand victory that they have also achieved in Uttar Pradesh and other states like Goa as well. And we see that over the next 1 month, we are being told that the state leadership will also be having several meetings to discuss upon the poll strategy and the campaigning strategy that will take place in the state of Gujarat. Remember, there was a level of anti-incumbency a few months back with the Vijay Rupani government for the mishandling of the COVID situation. But that is why we had seen a complete government change and a complete ministerial change of the state government, with Bhupendra Patel now leading the government of Gujarat, and also a change in the BJP leadership as well. Now we also see in that particular convoy C.R. Patil, who is the state BJP chief, along with the Bhupendra Patel and Narendra Modi, who are going to be making their way towards the Raksha Shakti University. And yesterday, a very, very crucial meeting that took place between all of the leaders and the MPs and the MLAs to talk about the campaign strategy of the BJP there in the state of Gujarat. And we will see how the entire 182 seats, we have seen, in fact, over the past few months, there have been several Congress MLAs who have already joined the BJP. The turncoats, as they call them, have already come to the BJP, and there are several big leaders of the Congress who have already quit the party with respect to the mismanagement of the Congress party there or in the state as well. And now we see the Prime Minister in his home state getting a grand welcome by the people of Gujarat as well. Aishwarya Kapoor also joins us on the phone line. Aishwarya, we see now that the kind of victory lap of the BJP yesterday with a grand roadshow which was headed by the Prime Minister with respect to the UP poll result. And now the next state up for elections is Gujarat, and Prime Minister in his home state getting the grand welcome that he always does. A point of pride for the people of Gujarat that somebody who has been the chief minister for their state for the longest time is now the prime minister of the country. And the kind of enthusiasm that we get to see on the streets of the state, in whatever part of Gujarat the prime minister goes, there is a level of enthusiasm that we see in the people of Gujarat, and a point of pride that people really think that the chief minister that they had in their state for the longest time is now the prime minister as well, along with the home minister as well, who had been working in the state. And in fact, in several of his speeches, Amit Shah has always recalled how he started his political career as a normal BJP worker in Navrangpura ward, where he had in fact fought the MLA elections from, and then how he had made his way to the top tier of the party, talking about the true democracy of the BJP, and how also motivating the BJP cadre that anyone who can in fact work in the party can make their way to the top tier of the BJP as well. This is something that Amit Shah has always recalled whenever he is in the state of Gujarat. And also the Prime Minister, who has always recalled Gujarat very fondly. Even yesterday, he had recalled several of the incidents and anecdotes of when he had met sarpanches of several villages who had told him about how they want to eradicate poverty in their villages. And he had said that that is a message of the people of Gujarat that has always stayed with him. And that's exactly what we see today as well. The Prime Minister, who will be going towards Raksha Shakti University, and also a very important event, since this is a university that has been working toward forensic science and development in the state of Gujarat. And this is a university that had been inaugurated by the Prime Minister when he was the Chief Minister of the state. And perhaps we can expect him to also recall the kind of trajectory of development the state of Gujarat has really seen since the time that he had been the Chief Minister from 2001. And when he took over from Keshubhai Patel after the entire Bhuj earthquake incident had taken place. But every time we have seen the Prime Minister before the Gujarat elections carry out the first campaigning from the central area of the state, that is in Ahmedabad, or from Bhuj, which is where he had started working as a BJP worker when the earthquake had also struck. And now we see the Prime Minister also going to be addressing the people in another rally that is also scheduled in the evening, where he will be talking about his tenure as the Chief Minister and the kind of messaging that the BJP really wants to carry out in the next state elections, which is due towards November or December this year later on. And we have seen how the BJP's messaging has always been that of development, and the Gujarat model has always been synonymous with that pitch of development. And the Prime Minister has always talked about Vibrant Gujarat, Defence Expo and Statue of Unity, and several such flagship projects that he has inaugurated and installed in the state of Gujarat, in his home state. and perhaps we can expect him to also recall the kind of policies and the kind of development that he has carried out in his home state of Gujarat. And today we will have to wait and watch exactly what he says while addressing the people. But yesterday it seems that the bugle for Gujarat polls has already been sounded by the Prime Minister when he addressed the MPs, the MLAs and the Sarpanches